Ssenyonyi agamba nti ekibiina kyagenda mu maaso n'okukuŋŋaanya obujulizi obuluma ebitongole bikuuma ddembe ku lyanyi bye bazze bakozesa mu nkuŋŋaana n'eŋŋendo nga buno bwe bagenda okukozesa n'okutwala mu kkooti wamu n'ebitongole ebisukka ku nsalo za
bagenda mu lutalo ebyo byali yiganga, ladies and gentlemen,
Uganda okubawawaabira.
Twagala kisukke ne wane Uganda kuba kati bino ebiri mu kukolebwa mu mateeka tukiyita crimes against humanity.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Alright guys, ndabye story eno nendowooza nti NUP ejja kwetaaga obuyambi bwammwe oba bwaffe ffenna. NUP egamba eri mu kuŋŋaanya bujulizi bwegenda okutwala mu kkooti y'ensi yonna awamu n'ebitongole eby'ensi kuba emisango egiziddwa kati gisusse okubeera nti ogitulina ku mutendera gwa Uganda gwokka. These are crimes against humanity. Let's listen in.
Embeera bw'eti bwe yabadde olunaku olw'eggulo akwatidde NUP bendera ku owa Pulezidenti Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu yabadde ali mu bitundu by'eggulo okukunga obuwagizi obumutuusa ku ntebe ennene ey'eggwanga. Wabaddewo ensiitaano ng'ab'amagye n'ab'ebyokwerinda abalala babadde baligita
Again, ladies and gentlemen, njagala kwebaza abo abantu be basanze eggulu abalemeddeko nga babakuba emiggo nga tebata Bobi Wine.
abagizi ba Kyagulanyi emigoba nte okubagoba ku muntu waabwe era nga n'abakuumi ba Kyagulanyi abaamuweebwa akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ab'ebyokwerinda tebabatalizza. Embeera eno teyawukana n'eyo ezeeyeyoleka mu bitundu Kyagulanyi ne banne gye bazze bayita mu kunoonya akalulu. Wano akulira oludda oluvuganya gavumenti mu Paalamenti era omwogezi wa NUP Joel Ssenyonyi gwe tusanze Nakawa avumiridde eryanyi eryakozeseddwa ebitongole by'okwerinda eggulu.
Ayasizza emitwe gy'abannaffe abamu nga Badani Magic n'abalala kweganga olaba effujjo ery'ekika ekya waggulu.
Ssenyonyi agamba nti ekibiina kyagenda mu maaso n'okukuŋŋaanya obujulizi obuluma ebitongole bikuuma ddembe ku lyanyi bye bazze bakozesa mu nkuŋŋaana n'eŋŋendo.
Look at that guy. Gubako kubo mugoyo mulengera. Look at what he does.
President wa NUP Robert Kyagulanyi
aganye alemeddewo bamukubi naye alemeddewo. Watch this.
Yabazze bakozesa enkuŋŋaana n'eŋŋendo. President wa NUP Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu
aganye
jazaayita nga buno bwe bagenda okukozesa n'okutwala mu kkooti wamu n'ebitongole ebisukka ku nsalo za
bagenda mu lutalo ebyo byali yiganga, ladies and gentlemen,
Uganda okubawawaabira.
Twagala kisukke ne wane Uganda kuba kati bino ebiri mu kukolebwa mu mateeka tukiyita crimes against humanity. Egyo emisango tegibeera gya Uganda yokka gisukkawo ne wano. Kati tuli mu kuwayamu ku ebyo kulaba nti n'emisango gye tuloopa gisukkawo ne Uganda. Naye tugamba nti kati jurisdiction ya Uganda naye twagala tugisukkemuko kuba gino emisango gikwata ku nsi yonna.
Ssenyonyi awadde ensonga lwaki ku mulundi guno ebikolwa ebityobola eddembe ly'obuntu ebize bibatuusibwako basazeewo kubitwala mu kkooti n'ebitongole ebiri ku mutendera gw'ensi yonna.
Tuze tuteekayo complaints nyingi mu Uganda Human Rights Commission, police ne tubiteekayo kooti tumanyi misango emeka gye twakateekayo ne bagituulira naye ffe tusigala tugamba ensonga zino zibeere ku record. Naye ne bwe tubiteekayo kati wano e Uganda ne babituulira misango tegitambula.
Ono asangiddwa n'abakulembeze
exactly bagera kwogera ku bigendo beera olunaku olw'enkya. Exactly nti obujulizi bukuumibwe togwamu ssuubi. Time is gonna come nga tutunula mukuume obujulizi bonna olw'ebikolobero ebizibwa.
We want to in the very strongest terms condemn the brutality that has been occasioned on the NUP presidential flag bearer and our other leaders and comrades. You see, we are in a campaign season. And that means a schedule was drafted. Every presidential candidate is meant to be in a particular place at a particular time. As NUP, we have not been anywhere where we are not supposed to be. You have seen NRM people, they are everywhere. Mr. Museveni is in Mbarara, but they have this thing called the caravan. You'll find it in Masaka, you'll find...
I mean, I don't even know how to explain that. Because I pretty much, let me say this one more time, I pretty much gave up on NRM people because I do not understand them. Museveni campaigning eno, oyina bebe kulu atambula n'ekimotoka kye, bali bwakyakubirako ssente. Simanyi balina caravan, simanyi biki nga bakubira Museveni campaigns. They're holding rallies on his behalf. Ye ng'ali mu constituency wa district endala. Teri abakuba ku mukono. Naye omuntu agambye katugoberera amateeka goba kutuusaako obulabe.
In Kampala, it is everywhere, which breaks the law. Because you are supposed to campaign in the district where you are meant to be. But for us to say, no, we shall follow the law. Where we are meant to be, only there is where our presidential candidate will be. But even as we follow the law, you have seen the military and police continuously persecuting us and our people. What happened in Gulu yesterday was despicable. It's as if the campaign now has become a war, a military operation. Mm-hmm. People were clobbered. First of all, they sent goons at our rally venue. They beat up the people who were waiting for our presidential candidate. They vandalized the cars, the system that we were meant to use. They took a laptop, broke computers, generator, and so on. And yet, that's the venue we were meant to be at. When the presidential candidate came, they descended on him, began to beat up everyone. As people were shielding him, whoever was shielding him was being clobbered. This is the presidential candidate who is meant to be in a particular district at a particular time. The Electoral Commission is quiet because they are the superintendents of this electoral process.
And we all know why these folks are quiet, because they're in bed with Museveni. And they are coward, they don't have any backbone, all they care about is their stomachs. It is very unfortunate. Their bellies, kastazi jula. They don't care about the future of a country. That's why they've been reduced to mere commentators. Twalabe Bobi Wine agula kasoli ku luguudo. Shut up. Kasitaba kuba Bobi Wine n'abawagizi be teboogera. Ne agula kasoli. Lwaki?
Not had them come out, but they'll be very quick to come out and say, protest vote, that slogan is bad, and so on. And we ask, where is it bad in the law?
Yeah. Again, like we have so many folks abali mu bifo by'obukulembeze nga tebateekeddwa kubibeeramu. Like tebamanyi, either they're willfully ignorant or they're just ignorant. Like toga temugenda mu protest vote tekikirizibwa. Who are you byabakama okuvayo yogere? Tamemu noju. Jeez.
You'll not hear that. They'll be very quick to say, after voting, go home. Even when the law says 20 meters you can be around. But you'll not hear them come out to speak against these ills that are being occasioned against the presidential candidate. Police, IGP Abasi Kagaba and his spokesperson Rusoke, every so often, press conference, NUP, you people, you are stubborn, you are violent, and yet nowhere have they showed any evidence to show that we are meting out violence on anybody. For us, whenever we say police and the military are meting out violence.
Even, ladies and gentlemen, that was a gigantic, astronomical provocation from the police. You'd think that people would be throwing stones at the police or engage in any form of violence. But the most peaceful people you've ever seen, even when they're being clobbered, they're just protecting their guy. They're not reacting in any way. Not even an electoral commission releasing a press statement.
Our people, we show the evidence is there for all and sundry to see, but they never do. But even with this, you might be shocked. Bosi Kagaba or Rusoke will come out and say, no, those who were beating people, we suspect those who are NUP people. We are now...
Seriously, I won't be shocked. I'll be concerned because, I should be concerned about the stupidity because I care about Uganda, but I'm really not shocked. What do you expect from these folks who serve the regime, a criminal regime? They will do anything and everything to aid and abet a criminal regime, to be a shield a regime.
Investigating. Ridiculous. When our supporters were clobbered in Barara, none of those goons in NRM, Mr. Museveni t-shirts has been arrested. None. But they'll be quick to round up NUP supporters simply because they are vouching for change. Of course, this is cowardice, it is fear. Because they realize, NUP which they thought had dissipated, that this is a wave that had now gone. Wherever we have been, massive support in Western Uganda, in Eastern Uganda, in the Central, in the North. And so the regime is thinking, how do we cut down their speed? But the people are saying, even when you do all of those things, because they beat up the people who were at the venue in Gulu, But a number of them stayed and waited for the presidential candidate, and he found them there and addressed them. They are that resilient. So they want to stop. We are not going to stop. Even as we pursue justice for our incarcerated comrades, for those that have been brutalized, those that have been hurt, and so on and so forth, the people are telling us, don't drop the ball. The regime wants you to give up.
Yeah, and I want to ask a question. Maybe I might be a little naive in that area. I've seen people issue statements, some of them reasonable to a certain extent. They say Bobi Wine should actually stop, should pull out of this election and stuff like that. But what is the alternative? Abagam Bobi Wine abivemu akolechi. Bwabivamu akolechi. Because Museveni is going to go again maso neba bamunyagwabe na balala bayina mugundi obo mu race. Na balala bali abamvuganye byaddala kati nga mujisha muntu. Na ye Bobi Wine wabivaamu akolechi. Bobi Wine aina slogan yagamba nti we have to get our freedom or die trying.
Wants you to sit home and stop going to the people. We are not going to stop.
Good.
Why? Because what we are doing is within the law.
Exactly.
So we are pursuing various measures. Each time there is violence meted out on us, injustices, we have filed numerous matters at the Uganda Human Rights Commission, in courts of law. They all don't get attended to, but we always want to be on record. And we are discussing, even as lawyers, to see how we pursue this beyond the jurisdiction of Uganda.
Good.
Because what's happening now, these are crimes against humanity. They go beyond the jurisdiction called Uganda.
Yep.
But as we do that, we are not going to drop the ball. We'll keep going to connect. They want this message of change to stop going to the people. That's not going to happen. We'll keep going. When they rounded up our presidential candidate's security detail, they wanted him to be slowed down, to stop moving. It's not going to happen. I spoke to him. He is in a buoyant mood, of course, saddened by all that.
Of course, because that buoyancy doesn't take away the realities that he's going through. He needs our support. So encha agenda nakawa. Ndoza mulide ko nonga yogera nti n'engudo z'abadde agenda okuyitamu nakawa. Bamukyakaniza mugamba ayite mu ngudo endala nazo nazikiriza.
Happen here, football and so on, come to them. We will be here. Police, DPC, RPC and so on, they reached out to us, and there's been engagements with our teams and theirs. There are venues which they said these are the venues that for us we want. Even when we had other options, we said, okay, we'll go with what you want. There's routes that we thought would be good for us. They said, no, these are the routes you should follow. We said, okay, we're not going to pull ropes with you people. Wherever you take us, our presidential candidate is loved by people, they will receive him.
But I think the tactic NUP is engaging in is to be on the right side of the law. And I'll commend them. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the right side of decency. We are on the right side of the law. We are on the right side of what you can define as patriotism. We are on the right side of the agreed moral question of so I'm so glad that they're collecting all these evidences, but bagende mukoti is it beyond Uganda's jurisdiction. Very, very good development there. Okay, so kanokampi kagenda kumao. I ask you to make sure you come back at 7 a.m. Tugenda kutunulira the double face of Frank Gashumba. Ayogera bichi nakati byayogera. Kuba yagambye agenda kulonda Museveni. Ogenda kulaba nga nyini ate yangamba togeza n'omulonda. It is unbelievable. I mean, I've always said here bagamba nti you cannot shame shameless people. Tosa okuswaza abantu batalina buswavu. But Frank Gashumba must be one of them. Unbelievable. So come back later sawa mwe yokumacha and you'll enjoy that one. See you later.